Joining us now, of course, Eliot Shorr-Parks, sponsored by Cozy Jewelers. Step up to the fifth seat. That's color, cut, clarity, carat, and cozy. Eliot Shorr-Parks, of course, you hear all the time on WIP, covering the Eagles. And now you're going to hear him 6 to 8 p.m. on Wednesdays.
He going to talk to us after a while.
No, he might not. Go Birds Evenings, our host of that show. Eliot, how we doing today?
I promise, unlike Kyle, I won't have an opinion from 6 to 8 that'll drive you crazy. That's the one promise I can make.
Well, I'm not sure if I believe that, but I'm excited to listen. So, Eliot, before we get into the Eagles, tell us about Go Birds Evening.
Yeah.
It starts tonight at 6.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. So basically, every Wednesday from 6 to 8, I'll come right from the NovaCare facility, right from practice, on air, and we're going to talk Eagles for 2 hours. I'm going to have a rotating cast of guests every week, beat writers, hopefully have players, coaches, and, do something I don't get to do a lot on WIP, talk about the Eagles.
You know what? The station doesn't have enough excited. Eagles talk, so we
exactly.
No, it's exciting. Yeah. I'm happy for him. Excited to listen to it. All right, Eliot, I'm sure you'll be talking about these kind of themes starting tonight. Eliot, when you look at the team through 6 games, 6 weeks, we head to week 7, where is this headed, Eliot? Because we have 2 different years the last 2 years, and both had pivot points. And in 2023, it all fell apart when they started to struggle. Last year, they struggled, and then they bounced back and dominated the NFL. Yesterday, Sirianni was asked about that by John Rich, and he was like, well, why can't it be 24? Eliot, when you look at the whole picture, what is this starting to feel more like to you?
So it definitely feels more like 23. There's no question about that. Just watching the way they play, being down there, the quotes you hear about being one block away, the self-inflicted wounds, the insistence that they're not thinking about last year. Like, it feels like I'm covering the 23 season again. But I do think if you were to say to me, which is more likely, it ends like 23 or it ends like 24, I would probably have to lean 24. And the reason is because 23, I think if you played that season out 10 times, it only ends that way, that like worst possible outcome, maybe once or twice. I mean, they really, collapse in a way we'll probably never see again. Now, do I think they're going to win every game the rest of the year and go and win the Super Bowl in dominating fashion? No, I don't think they're good enough. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. But it would surprise me if at the end of the year we feel the same collapse level of disappointment that we did in 23.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. I don't think it's going to get as bad as it was in 23, but there's a lot. Eliot, my concern right now is that there's so many issues, right? Like last year at this time, the defense has started to come together. The running game was really rolling, and it was like, all right, can they pass it well enough to win the Super Bowl? And obviously Jalen and the passing game were good enough in big moments, and they won it. Eliot, when you look at the team right now, what is the biggest issue? Because there's a lot of them piling up now between injuries, the offense, the passing game, third down. I mean, it's just a lot right now. The pass rush without Zadarius Smith, which kind of came out of nowhere. Of all the issues they have, which one's the biggest one for you?
Yeah, I would probably need a show from 6 to 8 p.m. tonight to get into every single issue that this
you heard
going.
Shameless plug.
Yeah,
Shameless
exactly.
Plug.
6 to 8 p.m. Call in 215. But no, it's look, I think their number one issue right now, in terms not a player, but number one issue is they can't run the ball. Because last year, I think their running game masked a lot of problems. The defense was great last year, no question about it. But I don't think we give the offense enough credit for how much they helped the defense out. The offense never turned the ball over. The offense ran the ball all the time, controlled the clock, and put the defense in a ton of advantageous situations. If you look at some of the tough situations the defense was in last year, oftentimes when the game was close in the fourth quarter, they made it closer, or they allowed the team to go down the field. And sometimes they got to stop at the end, and sometimes they didn't. But I think the biggest problem right now is without the running game, the defense is on the field more. The passing game has more weight to carry, and they're not able to hold on to the ball because, the Bucs game, they were unable to kill clock. It's just been a problem for them with holding leads. So I think if they could start to run the ball again, you would see other things fall into place.
Eliot Shorr-Parks with us here talking Eagles as we look forward to week 7. They play the Vikings on Sunday. Eliot, we don't know who the quarterback is going to be yet, but do you want it to be Carson Wentz?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, Carson versus Jalen, I know we've gotten it once before, but it's great theater. It's great content. And, Carson, when he initially left the Eagles, I thought the way he left was messed up. He forced his way out. While I understand the reasoning, he still left the team at a low point, right? But at this point, I want to see Carson succeed. Maybe not on Sunday, but I think Carson has been through a lot. he did help the team win a Super Bowl. So yeah, I want to see Carson. And for all the jokes that'll be made this week about it being Carson, he has more passing yards in his last 2 games than Jalen has in back-to-back games since week 9 of 2023. So he is passing the ball at a level the Eagles have really not been able to do for almost a year and a half, or almost 2 full years, depending how you look at it. So, yeah, I get it. It's Carson. It's funny, but they are moving the ball up and down the field with him at quarterback.
Well, it also would be an eye-opening moment if they can't stop this version of Carson Wentz, right? He's older. He's been on 6 teams now in 6 years. He's obviously kind of a journeyman at this point. If they struggle on Sunday to stop him, and I know you're saying he's playing decently, but that's eye-opening. It shows a lot about this defense. Yeah. Elliot, let's talk about the defense. Because of the 2 units, we've spent more time on the offensive issues this year, and I don't think the defense has been bad. I think they're kind of buckling now because all they've been asked to do and all the snaps they had to play in a 4-day span last week. But personnel-wise, they've got some issues now, Elliot. I mean, I'm not sure about the status of Jalen Carter for this week. We know Quinyon Mitchell's probably down for this week. And then the pass rush, the outside pass rush, the retirement of Zadarius Smith. Elliot, just roster-wise, personnel-wise, how concerning are you with the defense heading into this week?
Very concerned. I mean, the Vikings now, their offensive line is not great. We just talked about the quarterback. They don't have a great running game, but they do have those great receivers. And the Eagles' weakness is obviously right now, I mean, there's a bunch of them, but it's obvious their main weakness, I think, is in the secondary. So going up against this Vikings offense, that's a major concern. And you just talk about the defensive personnel as a whole. I mean, Howie Roseman, you got to think he is either he hits on all of these free agents or it feels like he whiffs on everyone. There's very few years where he's down the middle, right? And last year he hit on a lot of them. This year it's been, much thinner in terms of the free agents he's hit on. They banked on Adoree Jackson. That hasn't really worked out. They banked on Azeez Ojulari. He can't even get on the field. They signed Zadarius Smith. He retired. So his attempts at adding talent to the defense have not worked out. Now, that doesn't mean the defense can't turn it around because he also already had some great players on the team. Jalen Carter, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell looks great. They need those players to play up to their potential, and they have more weight to carry now because the edges and the free agents they brought in have not really worked out.
All right, we have 20 days, Elliot, until the NFL trade deadline. And I'm trying to figure out how he's going to continue doubling down on this roster, or is he going to say, I've done enough? I mean, he has made a lot of trades just in the last few months within the season, training camp. And this is a team, but still needs more help, Elliot. I think back to 2018, because they were not playing well coming off a Super Bowl championship. They were defending champs. And he made that trade for Golden Tate that I thought was to kind of try to ignite things. It didn't really work. I mean, he did have a big moment in the Bears playoff game, but he tried. He tried to help out a defending champion. Elliot, with 20 days to go, do you believe Howie's going to double down and try to do something meaningful to help this team?
I do, yeah. I mean, they have a ton of draft picks. They have, obviously, an incentive to help the team this year. As much as we might feel down about them, and I think rightfully so, they still are one of the top 5 or 6 teams in the NFL, even with their flaws. Not playing like it, obviously, but I still think if you ask most people to rank who would win the Super Bowl, the Eagles would fall right around that top 5 spot. So, I think he will. And you look at the assets they have that Jets 3rd-round pick, and that could end up being an extremely valuable pick because the Jets haven't even won a game yet. So they have the assets to go out and do it. But where I think you could see him toe the line a little bit is a player like Jermaine Johnson, the edge rusher for the Jets. He would come in. He would be a major help, I think, in terms of what they have now. But he's also only 26 years old, where you can also rationalize that he's a piece for the future. So I think you'll see him try to toe the line a little bit. But Howie's too aggressive. He's too competitive. He has too many assets for him not to go out and make a move.
Is that 3rd-round pick from the Jets, is that the Hassan Reddick trade?
I believe that is the pick, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That could turn out to be the top pick in the 3rd round. That's almost like a 2nd-round pick. That's an incredible asset. Elliot, we appreciate you hopping on. We'll be listening tonight, 6 o'clock, Go Birds Evenings, right here on WIP. Thank you, Elliot.
Yep, sounds good. Talk to you guys.
There he goes. Eliot Shorr-Parks there.